Sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again. This is a recording.
Every end has a beginning. I found out about my Concho mural being destroyed this July 27th, 2026. And upon hearing that news, I found myself immediately transported to the first time I went there and prayed to the ancestors for permission to paint a mural in thanks for giving me a new life in Concho. And I've met many friends and so-called enemies since then, and the mural itself keeps coming back into my life. So I thought that this would be a good time to actually tell the story of the mural and give it a chance to be seen and appreciated for its full story. Yate, Fase, Stephen Grounds Ezekti, UJ Hakeda. My name is Stephen Grounds. I'm a muralist, painter. I'm Navajo, Yuchi, Creek, and Seminole. So I started to delve into aerosol and was really influenced by the West Coast street art scene back when I lived in Phoenix from 2006 to around 2010. And basically I was heavily influenced by wild style on the West Coast, and I moved back to Oklahoma, and that was around 2010, and I started to more or less work on my own individual approach to style and graffiti / street art. And I basically would use like a black book to kind of inform my letters and work on, the foundation of how I was going to paint. And moved to Oklahoma City around 2012, towards the end of 2012, and that's when I eventually ended up moving into El Reno around 2013, and I started to really, I guess, that's when everything started to open up for me as far as like opportunities and more public art, larger murals. I had more opportunities to collaborate, and things started to really flow for me. And of course, the Concho mural. So that was 2014. When I first heard that the mural was going to be demolished, I had the immediate reaction of sadness, right, of loss, even though street art is meant to be ephemeral. But there was like a lesson there if you peel back a layer and you realize that some of the most powerful works and some of the most powerful moments that you have in life come from impermanence. For some reason, there's like that temporary feeling is that kind of, it's like it's more meaningful knowing that it's not forever. It allows you to appreciate something more. So that's something that came to my mind after I kind of absorbed this, the impact of all of this, knowing that it's not going to be there anymore. I started to search for the meaning and the meaning of the mural itself. And I think that's a good thing, because if it was just always in existence, or just like, say, an oil painting hanging in a gallery, you're not really forced to introspect on the meaning, because you just assume it's always going to be there. But this way, you're reckoning the meaning of the work and why, and you're asking, these more profound questions and seeking answers that way. When I first started painting, I didn't have this grand vision of a mural that would feature Cheyenne and Arapaho people, and that would be talked about or put in pop culture, like in a movie or anything like that. I just thought about trying to do something for the tribes. And I can recall going to the mural the very first time. No one really knew that I was going there, and I just had the intention of like going inside and painting a portrait. So I had that intention when I first walked in, and I can remember going inside, and I had my Rusto at the time. I wasn't even using MTN 94 or Montana or anything like that. None of the good paint. I just had Rusto, and I had a moment of kind of realization, like in the metaphysical sense, that I needed to ask permission from the spirits that dwelt there. And it was very real. I knew that this was an important moment. I'm not just going to come in and assert myself in that way that, I can just start painting without asking. So I said a prayer, and, I waited. From left to right on the mural, starting far left, is Susan Schoen Harjo, enrolled Cheyenne citizen and Presidential Medal of Freedom Award winner. To the right of her is Thaddeus Redwater, 1801, from Carlisle, and was All-American football player. And to the right of him and center is Black Kettle, 1868, Southern Cheyenne Peace Chief. And to the right of him is the unnamed Cheyenne woman with child. And to the right of her is the unnamed Arapaho woman. And around the corner to the right of her is Chief Little Raven, Arapaho, 1889 Southern Arapaho leader. And finally, to the right of him is Scabby Bull, Southern Arapaho leader, 1898. I think that the last time I saw it was in 2021 or 2022. A journalist from Canada came down and was writing a piece on it. So I think that was the last time I saw it. And so to hear about the demolition now, in 2026, I guess there is a sense of loss, because all of that memory came flooding back. And I started to think about how within my own tribe, within Navajo Way, there's sand paintings that have a healing purpose or ceremonial purpose, but they're not meant for, hanging up. And I feel the same about street art in this mural in particular, that, the lesson the feeling I get from this demolition or from the tearing down of the school is that, the ceremonial aspect or the healing aspect of what the mural was for is now done, and it's time for it to go, just like in a sand painting after the ceremony is completed. So they wipe away the sand painting at the end. And that's kind of a somber feeling, especially as someone that, you know, I look back and I remember feeling like full of creative energy and a lot of hope, and you know, a feeling that this was really important. I had a strong sense of purpose. So there is a sadness there whenever something like that ends. But there is hope in that through the documentary, you know, there's still a way to see the mural in a different way, and the story of the mural itself can be heard. And you know, even in the movie Gangland that just came out by Vincent Grishaw, there's a very moving scene kind of towards the end of the film where Lou Diamond Phillips' character drives out to the mural, and it was a very incredible moment to see that, because I felt like I was a part of that story. And maybe in a larger way, in a more meta way, that's kind of the point of the mural. Like, we're all kind of in these different, we're all in the same story, but we're in these different points in our life, and then we can all come to this place at one time or another and feel connected. So, you know, watching the film gave me that feeling, and it's a very kind of metaphysical, spiritual plane of existence, because you're kind of breaking that wall, that fourth wall, when you see something like this. It's a full circle moment, and it opens your mind to others that might have, you know, had the same experience visiting the mural and seeing it, connecting with it. So I had a lot of thoughts pour in, and it gave me a sense of peace as well. You know, now that the mural is not going to be there anymore, I do have a sense of peace that, you know, there was a fulfillment there.